I always use unknown instead of any on my projects. And in this video, I will explain why you should do the same. So here, as we have the value is implicitly has the any type. So in TypeScript, whenever we don't define a variable type, it automatically has the any type. So writing this is pretty much the same as writing this. And as you can see, we can perform any operation when you're using the any type. So instead of the any, and we have like an assignment here. What happens is that we can go through the for each. So this is an allowed operation for arrays. And then we can perform some operations and we get warned that we cannot perform some operations because the type is not compatible to the operations we're trying to perform in different scenarios. So here we have this value that has the any type at first. And then as soon as we try to run these operations, we are certainly going to have problems. So if we try to uh, execute this file, we can see that we cannot have a for each in here. So it leads to a lot of unexpected scenarios, and when working as a team, this can cause a lot of issues, as we all know. And instead of using value any, we should always prefer using the unknown type. So this is the first difference between uh, any and unknown. That is, we have to specify first a variable type so it becomes a null type. And what I mean by that is once we have this unknown file type and we try to assign here an array, we have to first check if the array is an array. And once we have this validation, we can do the for each. And the same is for number. For example, we have here the number 2 that gets assigned here. So when we are about to perform some operations using the null value, we need to do the same check. That is, oh, this must be like this. And then with this in place, we make sure that the value here is within this operation, so within this check. So whenever we are performing operations with an unknown value, we need to check first. So what it helps with is we have more predictable scenarios as we know that we are handling a number here. So once that unknown becomes something, becomes a number, becomes an array in this case, we perform some operations, so we don't have corner cases that are not yet covered because we know what we're trying to cover by using that variable. So it reduces a lot maintenance in our code and helps having a better team environment setting. So now let's apply this to a real world scenario. So let's imagine that we have a fake API call and this implementation may change. So what happens is pretty much like here on the catch block, we have this error that is unknown, and we can have the validations here. So whenever the error is an instance of the error object, so we have different options here. So for example, we don't have the error.error that we have in the error event that may happen for some situations. But here we have so many more different options that we can use for different scenarios, such as the error.error or the error.error.message that will be different for a different type. So whenever unknown becomes something else, we have different ways to handle these different scenarios. And now that we know why we should always prefer unknown over any for our projects, let's go through the never type. So why should we use never? So there is this design pattern for project is called exhaustive check. And we use it for checking, for example, we have different payment methods, and then we need to make sure that we have cases in our switch case that handles all those different scenarios. So what we do is here, for example, we have the crypto, and once we don't have the crypto payment present anymore, we don't have any kind of error here. So what we can do is we come here and write the never for the exhaustive check. And once we have this variable here, it becomes really useful because it complains about the case statement that is missing in our switch case, thanks to the never type that was assigned to our exhaustive check variable.